and that's why the Rockets will be NBA champions this year.
I guess we'll have to agree to disagree, and that's why we're the best damn sports show on the internet. Anyway, with the NFL draft coming up, I'm just curious to get your thoughts on the difference between teams such as the Patriots and the Browns, Andrew.
Well, you mean apart from the fact that the Patriots have made 15 playoffs and won 5 Super Bowls since the turn of the century, and the Browns have only made the playoffs once?
Of course there's that, but there's explicit reasons as to why one organisation is such a model for success, whereas one's such a basket case.
Well, I think you have to look at their organisational structures. When Robert Kraft bought the Pats back in the 90s, he developed a clear vision and a goal of team success and a winning culture. He targeted a coach who was under contract at the time in Bill Belichick, and he gave him GM abilities so the team was always on the same page from head office to coaching department.
Like anything with sports though, can't we just chalk it up to luck? Like they did find probably the greatest quarterback in our generation in the 6th round. What do you have to say about that?
Well, that's a contributing factor, obviously. But Belichick surrounded Brady with people like Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels, strong assistant coaches who could help develop and nurture the talent. They also brought in players who filled their roles and had players whose egos weren't bigger than the team.
So arbitrary coordinators are now the keys to organisational success.
Well, stability within the organisation is the key, because the Pats haven't changed their organisation for the last 18 years and they've been so successful, even with minor personnel changes over that time.
Okay, so evaluating success is easy, but what do you have to say about the Browns then?
Well, on the flip side, the Browns have had 2 owners, 9 different general managers, 9 head coaches and countless quarterbacks over that time. All this personnel change every year has created discord between the head office and the coaching department from their original vision.
We couldn't chalk it up to them drafting bad quarterbacks in this period. Like, if they had Brady, I could imagine them winning multiple Lombardi trophies with any coach they had, regardless of the situation. But I think you're confusing happenstance for causation.
Well, that may be true, but the Browns need to develop a vision from within the organisation, from the top down. Everyone needs to be on the same page within that organisation. They need to get in strong leaders, appoint good coaches, and that might turn them around.
Once again, agree to disagree. Moving on. Ben Simmons, Rookie of the Year? Not if Donovan Mitchell has something to say about it.
Last week, we aired One Steel to Done Steel, our story covering the catastrophic downfall of the SA mining and steel giant, Ariel. Some poor changes were made in the organisation's market strategy, which led to massive investments made on the back of the mining boom and the huge influx of money that came with it, such as $1.3 billion spent on the peculiar Knob mine, which was shut down and caused the loss of all jobs. The fall of the iron ore price because of reduced demand from China heavily diminished Arium's ability to pay back its debts, and unfortunately it was unable to maintain its expansion, and this resulted, as we all know, in the company entering into voluntary administration earlier this year. This week, we delve into the culture success of Papershare with their new owner, Raj Cooper. The almost defunct stationery manufacturer was purchased almost a year ago and has been experiencing some great success. So tell me, what was your plan after you bought the company?
Yeah, so after I bought the company, I realized I had to make some pretty big changes. And to me, communication was the key. It was important that I interact with everyone and share my vision for the company and the goals that I think we can achieve.
And how did that go? I bet there were some pretty nervous people.
No, I assured everyone that there wouldn't be any major restructuring because that would have just decreased morale, and that's not good. We had a meeting with all the managers where we set up some realistic targets that I thought we could achieve. And we also started up this new incentives program that recognizes and rewards any good work that's done in the company.
So you've invested quite a bit to make sure that the transition is smooth then?
Yeah, it's worth it. I sent in some HR reps from our main office to help with the transition and to create a channel of communication between employers and employees. I also sent in some training officers which helped the employees improve upon some areas like customer service, for example.
Okay. So staff morale is very important to you then?
Very important. A demotivated staff just doesn't work well.
And we've even heard reports of recreation rooms. Is that true?
Yeah, that's something I picked up back in India. I saw that there was a marked improvement in productivity within the office, so yeah, why not?
Welcome back to Bloomberg. We now have Peter Caracasli on to talk about the recent Disney-Fox merger. Thanks for your time today, Peter.
My pleasure.
Now, Peter, how has this merger been so successful?
Everyone's heard of Mickey Mouse and the X-Men, but the grass is always greener on the other side.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the thing is, Lee, once Disney and Fox realised they were due for a change, they were already halfway there. By merging together and joining forces, these two companies were able to share their skills and knowledge, reducing costs and increasing their target market.
And how exactly was that?
It requires a strong human resource department for a deal of this scale. The restructuring alone would be enough to take down some companies. However, since Disney and Fox both know what they do so well, they could communicate effectively to each other how the restructuring would take place.
Interesting.
Yeah, a strong sense of direction from both CEOs also clarified the process for the employees of both companies. I have it on good authority that this deal has been in the works for months, and workers on both sides seem to have appreciated news being shared regularly and decisions being made by everyone in the chain of command.
Very interesting. Now, Peter, what differentiates a good merger from a bad one?
Good question. Obviously, many factors go into whether a merger is successful or not. However, I'd say one of the worst mergers of all time was between Daimler-Benz and Chrysler. This was a failed change as Chrysler's focus on low-income customers did not fit with Daimler's luxury car-making business model, resulting in a big loss of money.
I see the parallel now between the merger and the Disney Fox.
Precisely. Disney Fox did their homework and they realized they needed each other. However, Benz and Chrysler seem to have merged for the sake of merging. Poor communication led to poor restructuring, which led to job insecurity, and this led to the poor performance of this merger. Basically, the simple fact is, change is pivotal in any organization. But managed poorly, the process creates big problems for the culture, people, and ultimately the entire operation. But if it's managed well, it provides a platform for growth and success.
Well said. We appreciate you spending some time on the program.
It was my pleasure.